If daily beach walks, golf cart rides, or quiet evenings by the water sound like your dream, then you're gonna want to pay close attention. Most people moving here think living on the beach is the ultimate goal. However, that's until they're stuck in traffic or even shoulder to shoulder with tourists during the peak season. Now, living near the beach, it can be amazing, don't get me wrong. But if you don't choose the right area, you could end up moving somewhere that looks perfect on paper, but makes everyday life way more stressful than fun. Hey everyone, I'm Lezli Milner, your local Corpus Christi realtor, and I create weekly videos about what it's like to live here, the real estate market, and everything that's happening in the area. And in this video, I'm going to be covering the stretch from Rockport down to Corpus Christi and walking you through the areas where locals tend to choose that give you the best of both worlds: beach access and a lifestyle that actually works year-round. And if you are someone who likes everyday beach trips and you don't mind the chaos, then be sure to stick around and I'll provide you with several great options as well. For starters, you've got Flour Bluff, which is a small inland island located right before you cross over to North Padre Island. It's home to the Naval Air Station and has a strong military presence, which shapes a lot of the community here. You're going to also find some canal front homes, which makes it a popular choice for people who love boating and fishing. And in fact, fishing is a big part of the lifestyle here in Flour Bluff. There are several bait stands right off of SPID and plenty of spots that locals use to get out on the water. Now, day-to-day living in Flour Bluff is pretty convenient. You're going to find most of your everyday necessities right in the area. There's an HEB, a Walmart for groceries and shopping, along with a few fast food options like a Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, and a Subway, and there's even a new Wendy's coming to the area. There's also some local restaurants worth mentioning, like the Bluff Bar and Grill, the Jalisco restaurant, and the Bluff's Landing. Of course, there are going to be a few trade-offs being just right down the road from North Padre Island, because Flour Bluff does sit between Corpus Christi and North Padre. It's the HEB and Walmart. They tend to get very busy, especially on the holidays or summertime or even on the weekends, since people from the island and those heading out to Port Aransas often stop here in the Bluff to grab things. And traffic around the main shopping areas, they can back up during those peak times. But Flour Bluff is also well situated for beach access. It's just about 10 to 15 minutes to Whitecap Beach on North Padre and around 30 minutes to Port Aransas, depending on how the traffic is. Housing here is more affordable compared to the island or Port Aransas. The average home price is around $250,000 with about 6 months of inventory. It's closer to a balanced market compared to areas like Port Aransas, but homes range from older single-family houses to some newer builds, along with those waterfront and canal options. Now, one thing that you're going to notice here is that some properties sit on larger lots, often around a half acre or so, which gives you a little bit more space compared to those tighter lots that you're going to find out on North Padre Island. Now, families in Flour Bluff, they are zoned to Flour Bluff ISD, which is its own district, and it serves around 5,600 students. Now, the schools are known locally for their size and their sports programs, and many people actually choose to live here for the district. For someone who wants to be close to the beach, have great fishing access, and still keep their housing budget lower, then Flour Bluff is an area worth considering. Moving on, we have the Southside. This is one of the most highly desired areas here in Corpus Christi because of the convenience that it offers. Compared to the island, Port Aransas, or even Flour Bluff, the Southside has way more in terms of restaurants, shopping, businesses, and day-to-day services. You're going to find everything from big box stores and chain restaurants to local dining spots, coffee shops, and medical offices, which means that you rarely need to leave the area for your everyday needs. Now, when it comes to the beach access, the drive to Whitecap Beach is usually around 20 to 25 minutes, depending on where you are on the south side, and heading to Port Aransas Beach takes just a little bit longer at about 35 to 40 minutes. So you're not right on the coast, but you're still close enough to make those beach trips easy when you do want them. Now, the nice part is that you don't have to deal with that same tourist traffic that clogs up the JFK Causeway during the peak tourist season. The Southside does have more local traffic throughout the day, but because everything is really nearby that you need, travel times within the area are still pretty reasonable. And housing here ranges from starter homes and established neighborhoods to newer master plan communities and even some townhomes. And the average home price is sitting at around $289,000 with about 5 months of inventory. Now, homes in this area sit on the market for an average of 90 days, which is noticeably shorter compared to Rockport or Port Aransas. Now, that shows how competitive the Southside market is, though, and it's also where a lot of the growth is happening here in Corpus. Families here are zoned to Corpus Christi ISD, and just know that the Southside is home to some of the district's top-rated schools. And in addition to the public schools within CCISD, there are also options for public charter schools like the School of Science and Technology, as well as several private and church-related schools, giving families a variety of choices. So for anyone who wants the balance of being close enough to the beach while also having every convenience nearby, schools, shopping, dining, and healthcare, the Southside is hard to beat. Right down the road and across SPID is the Bay Area. This is another spot that's about 20 to 25 minutes from Whitecap Beach and roughly the same distance to Port Aransas Beach. Now, living here gives you easy access to the water, but also quick connections into downtown and other parts of Corpus. The Bay Area has more of an established feel because many of the homes here are older, but the trade-off is the charm and the location. You're going to find a variety of restaurants, shopping, and local businesses. Plus, it's close to Texas A&M University Corpus Christi, which adds a little bit of energy and activity to the area. And the average home price here in the Bay Area is around $245,000, making it one of the more affordable options here in the city. There's about 6 months of inventory in this market, and like the Southside homes, they tend to sit in the market for around 90 days on average. And housing here is a little more diverse. You're going to see condos, townhomes, older single-family residences, fixer-upper opportunities, and some updated homes mixed in. There are also many apartment complexes throughout the Bay Area, which makes it a flexible option for renters as well. Now, families here are zoned to Corpus Christi ISD as well, which is a large district across Corpus with a wide range of schools all across the city, and the Bay Area gives you access to CCISD's network of campuses, along with options for public charter schools and several private or church-related schools nearby. And if you want more information about the schools here in the area, be sure to check out my other videos where I break down the best public and private schools here in Corpus, along with the different school districts here in the area. Now, for someone who wants to live close to the water, enjoy plenty of nearby restaurants and shops, and be in a more established part of town, the Bay Area is a great option to consider. Next up is Portland, and Portland is a little further out from the beaches. However, it's still a great option if you don't mind the drive. From here, you're about 30 to 35 minutes to Whitecap Beach on North Padre Island, and around 45 to 50 minutes to Port Aransas if you cut through Aransas Pass, take the ferry, and hit no wait. Now, going through Corpus, it will take a little bit longer, closer to 50 to 55 minutes to get to Port Aransas Beach. So while you're just not right by the sand, you're still right down the road from the Texas coast. Now, Portland has a true small town vibe, but with a steady growth over the past several years. It offers a nice mix of suburban convenience too. You're going to find everyday shopping, restaurants, and businesses right in town. Plus, it's just across the bridge from Corpus if you need anything more. And the trade-off is that you won't have the same quick beach access as the island or even Flour Bluff, but for people who really don't mind the drive, it's a more comfortable balance for them. Now, Portland does have water access for those who love boating or even fishing, but they do not have a designated beach area. If you do like to fish, it is important to note that although there are boat launches and piers in Portland, the bait stand presence is pretty minimal. Now in Portland, the average home price here is around $307,000 with about 4 months of inventory, and homes are staying on the market for around 90 days, similar to many other inland areas. And housing options include single-family homes and established neighborhoods, newer construction communities, and even some townhomes, giving buyers a range of choices. Now, families here are zoned to Gregory Portland ISD, which serves around 4,000 students, and the district is rated very well and is considered one of the better school districts here in the Coastal Bend. The smaller town environment also appeals to families who prefer a more quieter setting compared to CCISD. Now, if you want that small town feel still within commuting distance to Corpus, and you don't mind a longer drive to the beach, then Portland is an area worth considering. Aransas Pass is another option to consider if you want to be close to the beach, but without the busy feel of Port Aransas. This area sits right across the bay from Port A and right down the road from Portland. Now, from Aransas Pass, you do have to take the ferry in order to access Port Aransas. Now, depending on the time of the year, it can be a quick trip across the ferry, but during those busy seasons like summertime, holiday weekends, spring break, the lines can back up and the wait times get very long. Fishing and boating are a big part of life here in Aransas Pass, with plenty of boat ramps and access points throughout the city. One of the most popular spots here for boating is Con Brown Harbor. There are boat launches, bait, boat repairs, storage, as well as a restaurant. Day-to-day living here in Aransas Pass is pretty convenient. They have an H-E-B, a Walmart, a Lowe's, fast food spots, and several local restaurants, so you're going to find plenty of options without having to always leave town. And of course, Corpus is only just a short drive away if you need anything more. Now, homes here are some of the most affordable along the Coastal Bend. The average home price here in Aransas Pass is sitting at around $172,000 with about 10 months of inventory. And properties typically stay on the market for about 95 days. Housing options include single-family homes, you have fixer-upper opportunities, newer builds, and even some canal front properties. You're going to also find homes with a little bit more land compared to what you're going to see in Corpus, along with properties that feature beautiful mature oak trees, which is something that you don't always get in the city. Now, this makes Aransas Pass a great choice for budget-conscious buyers or anyone looking for a little extra space. Now, families in Aransas Pass are zoned to Aransas Pass ISD, which does serve around 1,600 students. It is a smaller district, and it's not rated highly through the Texas Education Agency compared to some of the other districts here in the Coastal Bend. So that is another thing to consider if schools are a top priority for your family. Now, for people who want access to Port Aransas beaches and fishing without paying Port A home prices, then Aransas Pass is a solid option to keep on your list. But just remember that the ferry wait times can be part of a trade-off during that peak season. Now, all the areas that we've covered so far give you some level of direct connection to the saltwater, but there are also some fantastic and popular communities a little further inland, like London, Northwest Corpus, and Cow Island. Now, these areas, they don't offer the by the water lifestyle, but they do provide great housing opportunities within a reasonable drive of the beach. Now, from Cow Island and the northwest side of Corpus, you're looking at about a 35 to 40-minute drive to Whitecap Beach. Now, London is a little bit closer, usually around 30 to 35 minutes to Whitecap Beach, so you can still get to the beach for a day trip, but it's not ideal for the daily beachgoers. What you do get here, though, is a quieter, more suburban lifestyle with both resale homes and newer construction options, and many of the properties in these areas also sit on larger lots, often around a half acre to sometimes a full acre, which is something that you don't typically find closer to the coast. Now, for people who want more space, a peaceful lifestyle, and easy access to schools, shopping, and daily conveniences, while still being within reach of the coast, then London, Northwest, and Cow Island are worth keeping in mind. Moving on, all the areas I mentioned are going to be best suited for those who can't live without being close to the beach, the type of people who want to walk outside and hear seagulls, or be able to cruise a golf cart around town. First up is Rockport, an area that offers a unique style of coastal living. Instead of the busier beach town feel, life here is slower paced and more community focused. It is known for its fishing, boating, and even its art scene. The downtown arts district is a big part of the community, and Rockport also has events going on most weekends, including the popular monthly market days. The beaches here are family friendly and typically less crowded, which makes them a favorite for people who want to just enjoy the water without the tourist traffic that you're going to see in Port Aransas. Now, one thing to note though is that you do have to pay to access and use Rockport Beach, and unlike the beaches in Corpus or Port Aransas, you can't drive your car onto it. You're going to have to park your car and carry your things onto Rockport Beach. Now, day-to-day life in Rockport is quieter, and you're going to definitely feel that small town charm. And I would say most of the noisy, loud parties, they're going to be in Port Aransas. Another thing to keep in mind is that some restaurants aren't open 7 days a week. A few close earlier in the week, so dining options can be a little limited depending on the day. Now, fishing is a huge part of Rockport's identity, like I mentioned earlier. You're going to see plenty of bait stands and large number of fishing guides working here, which makes it a hub for anglers. Now, for people who want a peaceful coastal lifestyle with plenty of fishing, boating, and art opportunities and don't mind a slower pace, then Rockport is a great option to consider. Families here are zoned to the Rockport Fulton ISD, which is a smaller district compared to Corpus Christi ISD. There aren't any public charter schools in the area, and private school options are limited, with just one being the Sacred Heart School, a Catholic school serving pre-K through 5th grade. And when it comes to housing, Rockport has a mix of coastal cottages, condos and townhomes, single-family residences, and even waterfront and canal-front homes. The average home price is around $410,000 with about 15 months of inventory right now. That means buyers have a fair amount of choice, and while you'll see many older homes in this market, more new construction is starting to come in as the area grows. Now, Rockport is also known for its RV community with a few dozen RV parks scattered throughout the city, which adds to the coastal lifestyle mix. Now, if you're looking for that true small town, beach town vibe, Port Aransas is where it's at. everything here is centered around the coast, from the restaurants and the shops to the golf cart friendly streets. It's the kind of place where you feel like you're on vacation all the time, even if you live here full time. Now, Port Aransas is a tight-knit community and has its own personality. You're gonna find a mix of permanent residents and vacationers, so it always feels pretty lively. But there are some trade-offs. Grocery shopping and larger stores are pretty limited here. There's a Lowe's market and a CVS pharmacy in town, along with a seafood market and some local shops, but most people make trips into Corpus for the bigger errands. And just like the island, tourist season brings in huge crowds, so locals usually plan ahead or work around the rush. Now, housing here ranges from beach cottages and condos to single-family homes, with many of the properties also serving as short-term rentals, and that makes it a popular choice for second home buyers and investors, as well as some full-time residents. And the average home price here in Port Aransas is sitting around $839,000 with about 24 months of inventory, so buyers have a lot of choices here. Homes also tend to sit on the market longer, right now averaging about 180 days. Port A also has a large number of RV parks similar to Rockport, which makes sense given its popularity as a tourist destination. Now, when it comes to schools, families are zoned to Port Aransas ISD. It's a smaller district with only about a few hundred students across its campuses, which means smaller class sizes and a small, close-knit school community. Now, families also have the option of enrolling their children at Seashore Academy, which is a public charter school on North Padre, but it does require a drive from Port Aransas. Another option for everyday beach access is the island, also known as North Padre. Life here really revolves around the water, from the morning walks on the beach and paddleboarding to evenings watching the sunset. The best part is, though, you can actually drive your car, golf cart, or even a Polaris right onto Whitecap Beach. And if you love fishing or boating, there are canal front homes where you can launch right from your backyard. Now, there are a couple trade-offs to keep in mind here. During the peak seasons like holiday weekends, summertime, or even spring break, traffic over the JFK Causeway and even right on the beach can back up. Most locals either will plan ahead or they'll just stay put until things calm down. And since many of the shops and restaurants here cater to the tourists, the cost of dining out and even everyday goods tends to be a little bit higher than on the mainland in Corpus. Now, just take note that North Padre has just one supermarket, which is the Island Market, with the closest H-E-B located in Flour Bluff. Now, housing on the island is a mix. It's going to be condos, townhomes, and single-family homes, and many of the condo and townhome properties are going to be used as short-term rentals through Airbnb or Vrbo. So you're going to definitely see vacationers mixed in with full-time residents. Right now, the average home price on North Padre is around $398,000 with about 17 months of inventory, which means that buyers have plenty of options to choose from. Now, for families, the island is zoned to Flour Bluff ISD, which does serve around 5,600 students. There is also a popular option on North Padre called Seashore Academy. It's a tuition-free public charter school that offers a college prep curriculum. They have an elementary campus for kinder through 5th grade and a middle academy for 6th through 8th grade. So at this point, you probably already have an idea which of these areas feels right for you. Maybe it's the island or Port Aransas if you want that daily beach life, or maybe it's the Southside or Flour Bluff if you want the convenience and fewer crowds. Either way, you can see that each area has its own trade-offs, and it really just comes down to what matters most for your lifestyle. If you'd like to take a closer look into these communities and see what's available right now, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description below, and I help people every week like yourself decide on whether or not Corpus is the right fit for them. And if you're still researching, no worries. Be sure to hit that subscribe button below and click that little notification bell so that way you don't miss out on any of my weekly videos on things that are happening here in the area. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.